So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and really try and feel the soles of the feet. Have your hips about, have your feet about a hip's width apart. Hands comfortably resting in your lap. Shoulders aligned with the hips. Maybe have a cushion or something, and a zafu underneath your sits bones. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. Just go to the crown of the head, and maybe you can feel some sensation there. And just relax your scalp and the forehead, the eyes, back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, back of the head, the neck, your throat, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Take a nice deep breath. Be aware of any sensory information coming into you from your external environment. So sounds, just allow the sounds to be there. Trying not to follow them with your mind, anything you can smell. Then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. Trying to put some space in between the thoughts. And whatever's arising in the mind, just view it with curiosity and compassion, kindness towards yourself. And maybe some of those thoughts are, I don't know, fantasy or moving off into the future without any kind of basis in fact. And then we kind of have a feeling about it. It's like kind of almost we're creating our own movie. And just take a step back and just be curious about what you see. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, so our loved ones, our strangers, and the people that we're not super keen on. Now just keep in mind all these people that are in your life or not in your life, because if they're strangers, these relationships could be interchangeable. So even though you think things are permanent, they're not. They really, really aren't. So some of the people who lost their homes in Palisades had been there, some of them for like 45 years. So you can imagine how you can feel in a situation like that, or their house was like 100 years old. You can imagine that, you don't ever think that you could be threatened in any way by fire or earthquake or something like that. It's been there so long, and then now all gone. And likely people will rebuild, so change. And all these people are equal. All are friends, enemies, and strangers, because they all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So think, we do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So all the humans affected by the fires in Southern California, and then all the pets that have gone missing. The cat that ran away and hid. So, just think of all the animals and the tiny little insects, all impacted by the fire. And then all the people in positions of authority who now, how come this happened? Why was there no water? So then people getting blamed. So it's just very uncomfortable situation for everybody. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. Excuse me. Excuse me. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So there's the example of the house still standing in the middle of all the houses that were burned. So, you can give practical reasons for why that house didn't burn down. In Buddhism, they would say it's karma. Those people didn't have the karma to lose their house. So I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, And the right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have to also develop compassion. So we need to rely upon other beings to develop compassion. So we can also, we can think about the people we have harmed, and then also think about the people who've harmed us, and particularly having compassion for them, because, the harm we've caused them is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum ha ha ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and all our inappropriate speech. not knowing what to say at the right time, when, where, how. But imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing and disappearing into space. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, and that includes yourself. And next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a room and it's pitch black. You flick on the switch and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So you just imagine in the same way, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness and bitterness and grudges, depression, anxiety, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. So nectar of the purification of the body. So the nectar flows down, then the nectar flows up to purify the negativities of the speech, and then the light comes to purify all the delusions in the mind. And we're just doing kind of an extra sweep. So it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. Now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we keep doing the same old things over and over again without this making a decision like this. We just have to decide. So rejoice in your efforts coming along here tonight. And then just think of something you'd like to work on over the weekend. And then imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So Rinpoche would always recommend just meditating a little bit on this idea of emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. And manifesting for the sake of beings, dispatching the countless sets of some 10 million embodiments of emanating Buddhas, the final realization of all moments, who knows each moment's object for all minds, and manifesting for the sake of beings with means derived from varied vehicles, gone forth by way of all three vehicles, remaining in the single vehicle's fruit, with purified afflictive spheres at heart, annihilating every karmic sphere, arrived atop dry land from flooding oceans, emerged from yoga's perilous dark grove. Okay, everyone. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and the long lives of all your teachers. And then let's just dedicate for all those, again, for all those people down there in Southern California. And then, you know, I don't know if you guys remember always Amy coming. She's not fit. She's not been very well. So that's why she's not here tonight. So, and also Kimberly's having a bit of a hard time right now as well. So let's just dedicate for those two people from our group. And of course, Judith, but Judith's doing a ton better. So she's doing great. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. And also, I am through the Ocean of Compassion. I'm leading a mindfulness meditation course. Starts tomorrow at 2:00 our time, so 3:00 your time. So if you're interested, you can sign up through their website. So it's a wonderful course. So I'm also doing it with Sheila's group up in Shantideva as well. So we're enjoying it very much. Okay, everybody, lots of love and have a good weekend. And I will see you guys Monday. Okay, bye.